Hi, this is Laryssa Nilsson. I'm a team leader with Usborne Books and More, and I'm here on my reading rug today to answer the literacy question: should I be asking my kids questions when I read a book out loud to them? Or should I just read the book? Do I have to ask questions? That's the question I want to answer for you today. The answer is yes. You do want to be asking your children and students questions when you are reading them material out loud. And here's why. The main reason is because good readers ask questions when they read. This is a good reading habit that promotes comprehension, understanding, and engagement with the text. When you ask questions when you read something, your brain is better engaged and better ready to make connections that will help you learn the material. So asking questions while you're reading is something that good readers do, something that good readers do on their own when they are reading a text. And you probably know this from personal experience. We've all had this happen to us, where you read something, walk away from it, and you have no memory of what you read whatsoever. You went through the motions of reading, but your brain wasn't engaged. We've also all had the experience where we've read something, stopped for a second, asked ourselves a question about it, and then gone back to the text. And we learn better with that second model, where we're asking questions. Good readers ask questions while they read. So what does this have to do with when we're reading out loud to our kids or to our students? Well, when we ask them questions, we are showing them, modeling for them, this good reading habit. We are helping them to internalize this idea that as we read, we ask, we question. If you ask your students and your children questions while you read them a book, you are setting them up for success in two ways. Both, first, with the current book, because they will engage and understand it better, but also for success in the future, because you are teaching them a good reading habit just by doing that with them. So what should this look like? I mean, are we talking like every book, a question after every page? How many questions should I ask? What should I do? It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't need to be something that you stress over. But one thing that I like to do, a helpful little check for myself when I sit down to read a book with my kids or my students, is I like to think in terms of beginning, middle, end. And I keep it that simple. I ask a question before we start the reading. I try to ask a question in the middle, or a couple questions, at least one, and a question at the end. So at the beginning, it can be a simple prediction or anticipation question. It could be looking at the cover together and saying, what do you think this story is going to be about? Or maybe, do you think this is going to be a true story or a pretend story? Could be pointing to a character picture and saying, why do you think that character might be doing that? Simple prediction questions. Get their minds to make a prediction at the beginning, so that then as you're reading it, they have to stop and think, oh, did my prediction come true? They're engaged. In the middle, it could be another prediction or anticipation type question, like what do you think is going to happen next, or something like that. It could also be a comprehension check, a check for understanding. Are they getting the story? So something like, why did the character do that? Or what are they thinking? Or do you understand why they're doing that? Or something like that. Either type of those questions are good. And then at the end, it's a great time to help your reader make a personal connection with the story. And a great time to just enjoy the story together. So a simple question like, what was your favorite part? Or did you like that story? Or make connections with other stories you might have read by asking a question like, did that story remind you of a different story we've read together? Or what did that story make you think of? Simple questions, as you can see. This is not really hard or it doesn't need to be real detailed, but it is a wise reading habit that we want to enforce for even the tiniest of readers, even before they can verbally respond back to us. We want them to start realizing, yeah, you ask questions when you read, and you can ask questions at the beginning, in the middle, and in the end.